I tend to think the worst outcome possible first. When driving down a windy road, my thoughts wander over the edge and tumble into the valley below. I don't necessarily like or dislike thinking this. It's just how this author thinks. I wonder why my first thoughts when meeting a stranger drift to self-defense, but I can't come up with a logical reason as they do. My eyes shift down when I'm leaning over the edge of a balcony, admiring a view. My brain wanders to what it would feel like to jump, probably because I once had a dream I could fly, and it was so vivid that I almost believed it was real. The thing is, if I let these kinds of thoughts run rampant, they can influence my entire perspective of life. What was light and bright becomes dark and haunting. Scarier thoughts peek their heads around the curtain, and I start noticing things. You'll know what I mean if you've heard of the reticular activating system. The RAS is part of your brain that brings light to what you're looking for or thinking about. One particular occasion comes to mind. I will just insert a little warning here. Themes and topics about death are about to be discussed. So if you don't want to listen to this, I will put on the screen the timestamp for my coping mechanisms when it comes to negative thinking. If I don't manage my thoughts, and I'll cover how I do that later in the video, I can find myself spiraling into feelings of fear, despair, and bleak nothingness. One particular spiral sesh, I was consumed with thoughts of death. I feared dying myself, afraid of losing my family members, and just watching a character die in a movie would leave me with more thoughts on the subject. I drove past my local library during this time. I squinted through the police lights, peered past the people gathering, and caught the briefest glimpse of a body on the road, right before the coroner's sheet finished its slow descent. Now I thought I'd manifested that, not just seeing the body, but the entire incident. What I didn't realize at the pit of that spiral was my RAS was more attuned to elements of death because the topic consumed my thoughts. I also happened to be in the right place at the wrong time. But I have 3 tricks to pull my head out of the pits and toss it back into the clouds. The first one is I make a snap decision. Sometimes I want to stay in these sessions of mental solitude. Depending on the feeling or topic, it can be very easy to get comfortable in the corner of your mind. For example, I'm not above getting cozy with thoughts of meaninglessness. I've snapped myself out of those static stations by deciding that I didn't want to feel like that anymore. Don't get me wrong, my thoughts don't switch off just like that, but the decision to make a change happens in an instant. The second trick I have is I use mantras. When COVID was flying around, and in fact right now it still is, I really didn't want to get sick. I had a dance class to teach, and I was a little terrified of the severe symptoms of the virus. I would walk around daily saying to myself, I am healthy, I am strong, I am right where I belong. I am healthy, I am strong, I am right where I belong. I come up with jingles and rhymes to keep those pesky negative thoughts at bay. And it works. Whenever I begin to think of something that wasn't aligned with how I wanted to feel, I'd chuck in a mantra to take its place. And what do you know? Everyone around me got COVID and I didn't. And in fact, right now, as I'm recording this, I have 3 family members in the same house that have COVID and I do not, because I am healthy, I am strong, I am right where I belong. My third trick is I force myself to see the good. Gratitude. I hate writing down lists of things I'm grateful for because I can never keep the habit going. I always write down the same things and I never look at those lists again. So writing it down doesn't do it for me. But an attitude of gratitude or positive thinking is key to pulling myself out of a slump. Instead of writing down what I'm grateful for, I play a game in my head. I will say one thing I am truly grateful for at that moment. Perhaps it's a beautiful beach. And then I'll follow it up with another, the clouds providing a cool shade from the sun. And another, the pillow behind my back. And another, the happy memories of my puppy dog, and so on and so on and on and on until I forget that I'm even playing a game. I have to look where I want to go. By choosing to change what I'm focusing on and forcing my mind onto those better, positive, and good things, I reprogram my RAS. I begin to see how beautiful each day is. I realize how special it is to be able to read and explore different ideas from the comfort of my own home. As I walk to the car, my mind begins to sing my rhymes. Like I said before, once I decide to change my state, the thoughts don't adjust instantly. But what does come at that moment is a sense that everything will be all right. And then step by step, thought by thought, I make that decision over and over again to keep my mind on good things. So how does this relate to being an author? How do authors think? In all honesty, I don't know. I'm just one author of many. I make sure to use those darker, different thoughts creatively and productively. I am adding them into my characters' personalities, inserting them as plot twists and choices to be made. But for my own peace of mind, I never linger there too long. That's how this author thinks. I train my brain, and it's a constant exercise, just like getting myself to do something that I don't want to do. Next week's video is about the time I hired my first editor, which was a massive moment of change and courage. I'll see you in the next video, and until then, happy thinking.